You have 12 supplements on your shelf. You are following 3 different coaches online. You have a spreadsheet tracking 17 training variables. You are reading 4 fitness books simultaneously, and your training has not improved in 6 months. Seneca, one of the wealthiest and most intellectually sophisticated men in Roman history, discovered something about complexity that most modern athletes never learn. Complexity is not sophistication. It is confusion wearing a disguise. Today we break it down in 5 minutes. Seneca wrote, "Nusquam a, qui ubique a." He who is everywhere is nowhere, applied to training. The athlete whose program is everywhere is getting nowhere. Too many exercises. Too many training variables. Too many conflicting protocols, competing for the same training hours. Too many optimization strategies applied simultaneously to a body that can only adapt to one primary stimulus at a time. Complexity creates a specific and devastating problem for the athlete. It makes execution harder than it needs to be, and when execution is hard, consistency suffers. And when consistency suffers, everything suffers, because consistency is the only training variable that actually compounds. The simple program that gets executed perfectly every single time will always outperform the complex program that gets executed imperfectly some of the time. Not because simple programs are superior in design, because they are superior in execution. And execution is the only thing that produces results. Seneca wrote his philosophy in the most direct, clear, simple language available to a Roman writer of his sophistication, not because he lacked the ability for complexity, because he understood that complexity serves the writer. It feels impressive to produce, but simplicity serves the reader. It actually changes behavior. Your training program serves you, not your coach, not the algorithm, not the person who designed the most complex periodization structure in history. You, the athlete who has to execute it every single day for months. Simplify it until execution becomes the path of least resistance. Then execute it perfectly. Seneca wrote, "Vindicat te tibi." Claim yourself for yourself. He was talking about reclaiming his time and energy from the complexity of Roman social life, the endless obligations, the performances, the non-essential demands that consumed everything without producing anything. He identified 3 specific principles for achieving genuine simplicity. First, eliminate what does not serve, not reduce. Eliminate every element of your training that is not directly serving your primary goal, is consuming energy that your primary goal needs. Seneca eliminated social engagements that did not serve his philosophical development. Eliminate training elements that do not serve yours. Second, do one thing completely before adding another. Seneca mastered Stoic philosophy before engaging with other schools of thought. He built depth before breadth. The athlete who masters the squat before adding 12 other leg exercises builds more than the athlete who does 12 exercises, with none of them mastered. Third, measure by results, not complexity. Seneca judged his philosophical progress by whether it was changing his behavior, not by how sophisticated his thinking appeared. Judge your training by whether it is producing the results you chose, not by how impressive your program looks on paper. For the Stoic athlete, simplicity is not the beginner's approach. It is the expert's approach. The athlete who has trained long enough to strip away everything non-essential and keep only what works. That athlete has reached a level of sophistication that the complex program can never achieve. Seneca wrote, "Omnia aliena sunt tempus tantum nostrum est." Everything else belongs to others. Time alone is ours. Every non-essential element of your training is consuming the time that belongs to your essential training. The simple training audit takes 10 minutes and produces the most effective program you have ever followed. Step 1. Identify your primary goal. One goal, not 3. The single most important athletic development you need right now. Write it down. Step 2. Identify the 3 exercises or practices that most directly serve that goal. Not 10, not 7. 3. The 3 that, if executed perfectly and consistently, would produce the majority of your results. Step 3. Eliminate everything else temporarily, not permanently. Temporarily. For 12 weeks, execute only those 3 things with complete focus, complete consistency, and complete presence. Step 4. After 12 weeks, evaluate. Did the 3 essentials produce results? Almost certainly yes. Did anything essential get lost? Almost certainly no, because the non-essential was never producing results. It was producing the feeling of productivity without the reality of it. Seneca practiced this austerity with his lifestyle regularly, stripping back to simplest food, simplest accommodation, simplest schedule, to discover what was genuinely essential and what was merely habitual. Your training has habitual elements. Things you do because you have always done them, not because they serve your current goal. Strip them. Keep what works. Execute it perfectly. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Simple training is not easy training. This is the distinction that most athletes miss when they hear the case for simplicity. The squat is a simple exercise. Executing it perfectly under maximum load for the required volume with full presence and complete focus is one of the most demanding things any athlete can do. The simple program is simple in design. It is not simple in execution. In fact, stripping complexity from your training removes the hiding places. The complicated program always has something you can do instead of the hard thing. The simple program has only the hard thing. Seneca's philosophical practice was simple. Practice Stoicism daily. Examine your impressions. Control your responses. Accept what you cannot change. Simple principles, executed with complete and relentless discipline for his entire adult life. That is not easy. It is extraordinarily demanding, because simplicity removes every distraction from the core difficulty. For the Stoic athlete, embracing simplicity means embracing the full difficulty of the essential without the comfort of complexity to hide in. 3 exercises, executed perfectly, with everything you have. Every single session. No complexity to hide behind. No additional exercises to fall back on when the primary ones get hard. Just the essential, executed completely. Austere. Brutally demanding, extraordinarily effective. Seneca was one of the most intellectually sophisticated men in Roman history, and he chose simplicity. Deliberately, repeatedly. In his lifestyle, his philosophy, and his writing, because he understood that complexity serves the ego. Simplicity serves the goal. Here are his 4 principles of simplicity for the Stoic athlete. 1. Complexity is the enemy of execution. The simple program executed perfectly always beats the complex program executed imperfectly. 2. Eliminate what does not serve. Do one thing completely and measure by results, not complexity. 3 principles that strip any training program to its essential power. 3. The simple training audit. 1 goal, 3 exercises, 12 weeks. Evaluate and adjust. 4. Simple is not easy. Simplicity removes the hiding places. The essential difficulty remains fully exposed. Execute it completely. Seneca stripped his life to what genuinely mattered. Strip your training to what genuinely works, then execute it with everything you have. This is Stoic Athlete. Train your body. Master your mind. Simplify everything. Subscribe for a new video every week. Seneca is waiting.